My mom's boyfriend tried to control my life. Until I uncovered his dark secret. I walked through the front door that day and immediately felt like something was off. The room was quiet, almost too quiet, and there was my mom, sitting in the living room, face streaked with tears. But she wasn't alone, he was there too. Her boyfriend, arms crossed, standing like some kind of gatekeeper. Let's just call him the creep because, frankly, that's exactly what he's always been to me. A couple of years ago, everything changed. My mom, who used to be easygoing, suddenly found religion. She started going to church every Sunday and became incredibly strict. No boys, no parties, strict curfews. And then, somewhere along the line, she met him. At first, he seemed nice enough, if a little overbearing. But gradually, I started seeing signs that he was controlling, even manipulative. He'd talk down to me, saying things like, girls should be modest and reserved, or, young women need guidance, or they'll end up in trouble. He was always snooping around, asking me questions that felt too personal, acting like he was some kind of authority on my life. I didn't trust him, and I could tell he didn't like me. He'd make comments to my mom about my attitude, implying that I was disrespectful or that I'd lost my way. Sometimes, I'd even catch him going through my stuff when he thought I wasn't around. Every time I tried to talk to my mom about how uncomfortable he made me, she'd brush it off, saying he was just concerned or that I needed to respect him because he only wanted what was best for us. But that day, things took an even darker turn. My mom looked at me through tear-filled eyes and explained, between sobs, that the creep had brought some concerns to her attention. According to him, he'd noticed things about me lately, like my tiredness, the occasional mood swings, and even normal stuff like period cramps. And from that, he'd somehow concluded that I was up to no good. He told her he was convinced that I'd been sneaking out to meet boys, that I'd been dishonest, and that I was hiding things from her. He said he could just tell because of his experience in health and that he knew the signs. I was stunned. Here I was, following all my mom's strict rules, focusing on school, and barely even seeing my friends, and now he was spreading these lies about me? When I tried to speak up and deny it, he cut me off, insisting he knew I was lying. My mom, looking heartbroken, said, "How could you do this to me? After everything I've taught you?" Then came the consequences they'd already planned out together. I was grounded, my iPhone would be taken away and replaced with a basic phone, and I'd be cut off from seeing my friends entirely. But that wasn't even the worst part. To make sure I was following their rules, the creep suggested he would do weekly check-ins to make sure I was behaving. He said it like he was doing me a favor, like I should be grateful for his guidance. I felt cornered. My mom, the one person I'd always trusted, was standing by him, believing every lie he fed her. And as I sat there, trying to think of a way to handle this, I started noticing something strange. While my mom was visibly upset, the creep was oddly calm. He didn't seem invested in making sure I understood my mistakes or offering support to my mom. Instead, he looked almost satisfied. It was as if he enjoyed seeing us in turmoil, as if this was all part of some twisted game. That night, I decided I needed to figure out who the creep really was. With the little time I had left before losing my phone, I searched online, trying to learn anything I could. And there, buried deep in a news article, I found it, his name. A story about a man with a suspicious past, who had a history of manipulating others. It turned out he'd done similar things before, inserting himself into families, creating chaos, and slowly isolating the people around him. In that moment, everything clicked. This wasn't about helping or guiding me. It was about control. He was deliberately turning my mom against me, playing on her fears, and using his influence to manipulate her. Armed with this knowledge, I knew I had to act, and fast. Somehow, I needed to show my mom the truth about the person she'd let into our lives. I don't know how, but I won't let him tear us apart any longer. For now, I'm stalling, hoping to buy myself enough time to help her see the real monster standing in our living room.